Listen, just because I say leave a dislike if you didn't like the video, it doesn't mean you should actually leave a dislike. Bro, I'm not even at 100 subs yet. My channel average of likes versus dislikes is like overwhelmingly positive. Except for that one time I was tearing into that Inner Footsteps game. What is it? Come on, you can talk to me. What is it? Is it the pace? Is it because I say bad words sometimes?
Mother trucker, dude!
Is my avatar not sexy enough? Well, how about this? Sexy jutsu! Huh? How's this? Did this earn that like? Don't you want to subscribe for more sexy Delta? Fuck. Delta here, and there is a special cynicism in me. With 2022 continuing to be the best year for gamers of all time, me trying to shine light on RPG Maker is like an uphill battle. Don't you want to play Omori? What about Ib? Look, I get it. Why would you want to play games that look like these when Horizon Zero Dawn Forbidden West looks like this? I'll tell you why. RPG Maker has something most AAAs don't have, and that's passion. Everyone's trying to find ways to stand out in a never-ending sea of Where's My Mom and Journey to Shrek Island. It's okay, I'm here to help. Once again, my name is Delta, and this is Hidden Gems. This week is a little different from the last two. Your boy has been in the gym dodging jab after jab, gearing up to release a double jab right cross left hook special. But I'm a changed man. I love pigeons now, but don't make this pigeon act up. Start Again a Prologue is interesting because it gives me Metal Gear Solid Ground Zero vibes. Start Again a Prologue is interesting because it gives me Metal Gear Solid Ground Zero vibes. Start Again a Prologue is interesting because I've said this. Start Again a Prologue is interesting because it gives me... Start Again a Prologue is a game about a time loop. It gives me Ground Zero vibes because of its prologue nature. While I think this game stands on its own as a solo experience, I know some people would have rathered it just be released as a full project because some people could find it scummy if you make people pay for the first 2 or so hours of a game and then pay for it again when it releases. I don't mind this release model as long as the full game picks up from where the prologue ends and massively expands on what the prologue has to offer. And you know, if this game is just a part of a series of similar length games trying to tell one story, then I think that's okay too. Start Again a Prologue is a pretty good experience, and I'm glad it is because at its price you can find other longer games of equal to better quality in the same price range. So if it didn't stand on its own merits, it would be a lot harder to recommend. I enjoyed my few hours with Start Again, but it has an issue that stifled my drive to play through it again to find its other endings. Start Again is beautiful in its writing and its art. The sound effects is default assets, which is a bit disappointing because all of the custom stuff is very cool to look at. The battle system is simple. I found the rock, paper, scissors aspect charming and clever how you could tell the enemy's weakness by their designs. Pretty cool foundation here. I hope in the full game though, the monsters change poses so that way you have to constantly switch up your strategies. The writing was heartfelt and the protagonist felt relatable in how they chose to handle being trapped in a time loop. The only thing I didn't like about this game was how on rails it felt. But that's the point, Delta. It's a time loop. You can't escape your fate. That's the point. Yeah, I know, but the game also brings up other loops and how the protagonist did things different before and it didn't matter. I wanted to experience that. I didn't like the fact that I couldn't open some doors or interact with some items because it wasn't the right way. This might be fixed in the next playthroughs, but I wanted to go off the beaten path immediately. I wanted to save my friends and prove the nihilistic protagonist wrong, and the game just didn't let me. Also, the choices that mattered in the playthrough didn't feel obvious, which I think is important if you're going to have multiple endings, but these issues will probably be cleaned up in the full release, so Start Again gets an 8 out of 10 on the hype scale. I do recommend it to you if you have $10 lying around and a few hours to spare. Cult Detectives is confusing. I tried to pick this game up multiple times and I just couldn't get into it. Normally, I would have just tossed it aside and replaced its spot with something else, but I feel like games like these are important. I could tell from the get-go that this is an ambitious project, maybe a little too ambitious. This is all just my opinion, and maybe I'm just stupid, but I couldn't for the life of me figure out what I was supposed to do in this game. The game is a murder mystery, and if you remember from episode 1, that's my fucking shit. I was really excited to get into this game, only to get stuck literally 3 minutes in. The game introduces you to the first victim, but you don't do any investigating. You look at the body and you're like, God damn, that's nasty. Take a picture and then immediately hop into your car. I didn't know where I was supposed to go or who was killed or what was when, but I mean, hey, at least I had my pupper. I made it to the police station and interrogated the farmer who found the body, but he didn't say anything of substance, so I detained him and just wandered around. What am I supposed to do here? I explored the police station and found nothing to interact with. I thought maybe I'm supposed to leave and come back, but I couldn't get back in my car. And also, why am I being assaulted by wasps in the rain? Have any of you guys ever seen a wasp in rain? I don't know. I like the fact that it had a time system, but it seems like nothing changed as time went on. The screen just kind of got darker, and I went outside in the evening just to get attacked by a fox and die in 2 hits. Game over, back to the title screen. I'm talking about this game because I made the exact same mistake in my own game I just released. I didn't want to handhold my player at all, and this led to confusion. Sure, I understood what to do in the game because I fucking made it. Also, people who are familiar with my game's influences also figured it out because they knew what to expect from a Zelda game inspired by Breath of the Wild and Dark Souls. But those who weren't fond of or familiar with my influences were lost, so I went back and patched the game in an effort to ease them into the story I was trying to tell. My point is, I think it's okay to help your player understand your vision before throwing them to the wolves, or in this case, the wasps. Set expectations early to avoid experiences like I had. It's obvious I missed something in my attempts at cult detectives, something I just wasn't looking for, like how players of my game missed something that was obvious to other players. I'm not saying every game should be made for everyone. What I'm saying is, every game should try to be welcoming for outsiders of its niche. Set expectations early. Cult Detectives gets a play it yourself out of 10 on the hype scale, and I hope that you're able to find something in it where I could not. My gem of the week is super lesbian animal RPG.
You what?
This game had no reason to go this hard. Everything was great about this game. Artwork's nice to look at, the music goes dumb, it's funny, like, bruh. What pisses me off though is that people probably aren't gonna play this just because they're gonna think it's a furry game. Grow up. Please just play Super Lesbian Animal RPG. The game feels like a breath of fresh air in the sea of indie games inspired by Earthbound/Undertale with the allegories for abuse and depression, but don't let that fool you. I did get Undertale vibes from this game, but you know, lucky me, I like Undertale, so I get to have my cake and eat it too. Super Lesbian Animal RPG gets a 10 out of 10 on the hype scale, and I think it's releasing sooner rather than later, so I'm excited to play it in its entirety. Thank you for reaching the end of another week with me as we continue to dive into this amazing community. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like and a comment letting me know. It really helps the channel. Ever since I started this series, YouTube has been actually recommending my content. I appreciate every single one of you for helping me get my lukewarm takes out there. If you really like the video, consider subscribing. Along with this weekly series, I make longer videos going more in depth with my thoughts on games. For those of you who are new, check out my Metroid playlist where I talked about not only my first experience with Metroid Prime, but Metroid period. I think you'll like it. Remember, these videos are not to make fun of devs, but to get their games in front of more eyes, even if it's only 50 people watching. This is a place for feedback, not just impressions. I do this for us to grow together because we're all in this together. I hope to see you all next week. Again, my name is Delta, and this was Hidden Gem.